Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems. And if you're new here, welcome for the first time. And tonight we are going to look at two of the books I've read so far this month, and that is A Court of Thorn and Roses and Garbology. Stay tuned. Okay, so everyone, first of all, reading A Court of Thorn and Roses. I'm going to say that over and over again. So let's say ACOTAR. Reading ACOTAR as part of a group read created by NJ, reading banned books. We're going to come to that later. Did I enjoy this book? Yes, I did. Yes, I really enjoyed this book. Please don't unsubscribe. But it was reasonably well written, but most importantly it was entertaining, and I'm going to tell you why. And there might be minor spoilers in my review, because I'm going to start with ACOTAR. There might be minor spoilers, so really it's right at the beginning of the story. It's a long book, so if you don't want any reveals in the first 20-30 pages, then turn off. That's okay. But yeah, I'm not giving away many spoilers in this review. And I'm going to try to have a little bit of fun and tell you why I enjoyed the book. So let's begin, shall we? A long, long time ago, once upon a time. No, let's do that again. Once upon a time, in a cold, wintry land, there was a young girl named Pharaoh. That's probably it. Let's call her Beauty. And now Beauty was hunting for her useless, lazy family who, I didn't like them at all. And she was hunting for food for the family, not to put kind of heads on walls, but because she needed to. And she managed to bag, while she was out hunting with her bow and arrow, and she managed to bag a wolf that was hunting a little deer, killed the deer, and then she killed the wolf, so she got both. And she slung the deer over her shoulder, and she basically pelted the wolf, got the wolf pelt, and went back home in the freezing cold. Obviously to a family that was starving, because they had nothing. She was a sole provider, and she went in there, and they were so grateful for the food that was going to be in their tummies. And the sisters had all the wood cut for the fire, and the dad was like, "Oh, my daughter, you've returned with food." No, it didn't work like that. She went back home to a frosty reception. Her sisters were fighting as usual, and no one gives a shit about the fact that she was the one hunting for the food and stopping them from starvation, which didn't sit well with me. Actually made me kind of angry, but that's okay. Oh, and then she, on her own, while the sisters were still fighting, had to prepare the food, they kind of prepare a nice warm meal for them, and dry out the rest of the deer for the future, planning ahead, so that they wouldn't starve to death. And all the sisters were thinking about was, like a new dress, new pair of shoes. So it was kind of horrible family, except for Beauty. And then the next day, Beauty went into town, into the village, and she wanted to sell the wolf pelt for some coin. And she sells the wolf pelt. The sister's there, probably trying to beg her for the coin, and she meets an old flame, and they have a quickie in a shed nearby. Because apparently, she was doing that with him. Not part of the story really, not really important on any level, but they just nipped off to have a quickie. And that night, she goes back with the coin in her pocket, and they're having a meal and someone breaks down the door. No, smashes down the door. No, absolutely frickin' hammers down the door. And it's this huge creature, a huge wolf sort of creature. I think it's a wolf, I'm not sure. But no, it's not a wolf. Yeah, bigger than Layla anyway. And he's saying, murderer. And let's just call him Beast. And he's saying, you're a murderer. And who killed my friend? Who killed my friend? And eventually, we're talking about the wolf here. And Feyre, the beauty, and she puts up her hand and said, yeah, it was me. So the Beast gives her choices, because it's the way it's done, is that you can come back to my land, or I can kill you right where you are, rip you to pieces. And so yeah, Feyre goes across the wall. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. This world has got a huge wall separating the humans and the fairies. There are fairies in the story. And the humans and fairies used to have a war a long, long time ago. And the humans were just about wiped out, but it was peace, and the wall was built up there. So she goes back with the Beast to live with him. That was a choice. And she goes back to live with him, and they spend a lot of time in the bedroom, lots of babies, and they live happily ever after. The end. No, I'm just messing with you. I'm just kidding with you. When they cross over to Fairyland, I'm not going to tell you anything about the story after that, except that the Beast is indeed a high fairy, can shapeshift. And he takes Beauty back to his castle, which is like an estate, and it's not a castle, it's like a big estate thing, I don't know, yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that happens in Fairyland. And I want you to discover that for yourself, because actually I really enjoyed it. It was fast-paced, it was fun. And there were some very terrifying, awesome creatures in this book called, and I want to just name some of them, if I can find them. Wait. Bogger, Nagu, Puka, and Atta. Oh, yeah, terrifying. And I just want to say to you now, this book does get dark. I don't know why people don't talk about that. Maybe I'm a wussy. I'm supposed to be a horror reader. But the book, and especially in the last third of the book, it does get dark. And trigger warnings, okay, for some steamy scenes. But really, like, okay, a little bit of booby, but Richard Lehman will look down on this book. Where the butts, where the boobies, where's all that stuff? But there is kind of steamy foreplay sort of stuff that happens in this book. But I think is far more in terms of violence and torture, trigger warnings towards the end. That no one seems to talk about. Why? Well, that's awesome. I really enjoyed it. Some of the stuff that I had against the book wasn't incredibly well written. Like a Stephen King, or a Clive Barker, or Robert McCammon. Those books are really well written. But it was still very readable and very enjoyable. And yeah, there was some bad decision making from the characters. I mean, Feyre, Beauty, makes some kind of decisions that just don't make sense. Stay at home, there's danger, don't come out tonight. What does she do? She does. You're going to die a horrible death if you go out on your own, and she probably would have, but she goes out anyway. These fairies are not benevolent, loving, well, yeah, I'm not going to say anything. But they are freaking terrifying in terms of their power, in terms of what they can do to humans. And there she is, yeah, human. I'm not going to say anything more about the plot or anything like that. Just discover it for yourself. These fairies are freaking terrifying, man. One of them is horrible, really horrible. What she does to these people, what she does to this one woman, what she does to her. Okay, never mind. But it's a very good book, and it's fun, and it's enjoyable, And Beauty is an awesome creature. She's an awesome character. Yes, she's stubborn. She makes bad decisions. But she's also very brave and courageous. And I enjoyed her personally. She's a great character. As for the Beast, I think it's Tamlin. Yeah, I quite enjoyed him as well. Although he was like kind of a brooding, sort of, you know, was kind of not, yeah, young girls will like that. But anyway, I enjoyed this book. It was fun. And are you asking me if I'm going to read the second book? I know Mark, and you must check out his channel, I'll link it up above. Mark has got a great channel, and he did a review on this book. He gave it 2 stars, which I don't understand. It's a fine book. But Mark, you need to check out his review, by the way, and you need to check out his channel and give him a like and subscribe. And in particular, check out his video on this topic and like it. It's important, please. And yeah, if I'm going to read the second book, you're not going to know about it, because that's a horror channel. And I'm going to do it behind closed doors in the privacy of my own room. And at night I'll put the book under my bed, because it's going to be a guilty pleasure, because I enjoyed this book. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. I'm going to change it to 4, because I actually had fun with this book, and it's not fair on the book. I need to be honest with myself, yeah. So yeah, that is Crown of Thorn and Roses, ACOTAR. Okay, another important reason why I was reading ACOTAR was because it is being banned in the state of Utah in schools and libraries. Is it worthy to be banned? No, nothing should be banned. You know, the voices of a few people should not kind of dictate what we should read and what we should do and how we should behave. You know, the world has too many periods in history where few people or minorities spoke for the majorities. I'm South African, I should know about that. So yeah, it should not be banned at all. Parents should be allowed to decide for themselves whether the book is suitable for the child to read. But yeah, it does have a sort of it does have adult themes. But honestly, let the parents decide. Let the librarians decide. Don't be a frickin' raving mother who decides because you don't like the book, you think everyone else, you know, just don't be that person. Because it's dangerous. And you know, straight after this happened, I've heard that in Florida, Stephen King has been banned as well in Florida for a whole lot of his books. It's just freaking ridiculous. Let people decide for themselves. Not so difficult. Okay, let's get back into some horrifying, terrifying trash. I read Garbology and I really enjoyed it. Close to 5 stars, but the fact of the matter is that when I rate compilations, there are always a few stories here and there that I don't care for so much. But this was close, because every single story is readable, and a lot of them I really enjoyed, by both booktubers and others. I just want to talk about the thing as a whole first of all, because yeah, I know that it's with, I think it's somewhat Tradup. I'm subscribed to his channel, I can't remember, sorry, it's up there, and Criminology, and they put a lot of work into this. You know, some of the booktubers I think had sketches and illustrations and stuff as well, but a lot of work went into publishing and getting his book. And I had a fun time. I really enjoyed it. It was yeah. But if you're going to go into trigger warnings, most of them, this is trash, but it is horrifying, terrifying trash. And there are monsters of all type in here, zombies, things, serial killers, hitmen that do nasty stuff to people. So there's a lot of stuff in this particular book. And let's just look, it's divided into 4 sections. Sections are, where is it here? Adults only. Let me say that again. Adults only. So you can imagine what that section is about. And I think the author of the previous book I believe the second book in the series is a bit better in that regard, but the author of that, ACOTAR, might do well to read some of the stories in the adults only section, because she might get a few tips. And then there's Crime Doesn't Pay. There's some great stories in here, but police and criminals and hitman. And then there's Monster Mash, and you've got all sorts of vampires, zombies, werewolves, all sorts of creatures in Monster Mash. And then there's there's Weird Menace. I love some of the stories in here. I'm going to talk about it now. And then When Animals Attack. So yeah, there's a little bit of everything for everyone. Beautifully varied and very readable, very enjoyable. I had a fun time. Okay, to finish off, I'm just going to mention 3 of the stories. As I said, all of them were quality. In fact, I could have mentioned 10 stories, but it's too much time. I love some of the stories by the booktubers, about the kind of wicked hair, stuff like that. But yeah, there was another one as well, but you know, Richard Landon. Okay, I'm not going to go there. But anyway, the first one I want to talk about is Werewolves of the West by Timothy Adam. Now, what I loved about this, I don't read a lot of werewolf fiction. I need to change that. And it's basically these werewolves that are tormenting this Wild West town. And they've already killed a lot of people, and they can think, and they can pack, and they can hunt, and they can... And some of the kill scenes are gory and nasty, and it's just a fast-paced, fun, short story, and I really loved it. Okay. The next one is... and this is probably my favorite of the whole collection. I don't know why, but it was just so weird, so out there, like really, really weird. And it was in Creature Feature, but it could have been in the weird fiction as well, because it just... Okay. It was called Manscape. Manscaping. By David Burns. And basically it's a zombie apocalypse story. But this guy, don't think he's a sole survivor or anything, but these zombies, when they've eaten their full, they get like a pot belly. Which I thought was very cute. They get a pot belly, so then you know that they're safe. And it's this guy collecting these zombies and collecting sort of stuff to make things. So he goes to buy sort of supplies to make stuff. There's a pool involved. I don't want to give away spoilers, but really it was insanely weird, but at the same time just so much fun. And what he does to these pot-bellied zombies, how he cleans them, because they're filthy, they're disgusting. Yeah, Manscaped was a very fun story to read. Just sick and bizarre and fun. A lot of these stories are kind of sick as well, just be warned. And then the last one was another one I really enjoyed, Let's Be Ghosts, and that is by Seawolf. I don't know if Seawolf is a booktuber, I have no idea. I must actually look it up. But this was a creepy, intense story about these kids, and they're going to this house, the kind of derelict sort of used to belong to, I don't know if it was a serial killer or something, I can't remember, some kind of weird character into weird stuff. And there's this doll, it's 4 kids, and they decide to play a game of hide and seek. And the game goes very, very wrong. I'm not going to say anything more about it at all. So yeah, check out Garbology for yourselves. Okay everyone, so trying to be a comedian as opposed to a booktuber has pretty much tired me out right now. And yeah, I need a break. If you enjoy my content, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe to my channel to help me out. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the spaces down below. I didn't want to offend anyone, so I hope I haven't. I hope you all took it in the spirit was intended. So yeah, everyone, take care of yourselves. Until next time, keep those pages turning, and cheers.